What up? 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 I don't know if there's anybody out there. I don't know if my crew, my tribe is out there, but I'm gonna talk about a few things before I get out of here. I'm getting ready to go watch the basketball game in a little while. So I said I would go live. I came home and I had me some din, and I said I'll go live for about an hour before I get out of here. I just got off the phone with mother. Mother is taking care of swipe left for you, getting ready for you all y'all that love Milan Trezor's monthly, excuse me, shit, monthly, weekly show of Swipe Left. Mother is getting it ready for this week's episode. I don't know what she gonna be talking about this week, honey. Trezor always gets the ladies together, gets the people together, honey. Okay, well look, ain't nobody in here, but I'm gonna talk anyway. So I looked at Braxton Family Values last night, right? And I haven't been reviewing it pretty much all season because it just wasn't really giving me a whole lot. And I think I'm just kind of over it and over them. Um, but I said I was speaking on last night's show a little bit. I got notes. Y'all know I like my notes sometimes. It's funny when I watch a show, I don't always do a lot of notes. What's up, Ebony? Hey, boo. We're gonna since you in here, we can talk a little chasing Atlanta too. But I wanna hey, what's up, Margie? How you doing? Um, what? Oh. So I want to pull up my notes, y'all, because I want to talk about that mess last night with those Braxtons. Which y'all think? Did y'all look at that mess last night with them Braxtons? Okay, so first few things I want to say. The child of foolishness and the shenanigans of the finale. Yes. Hey, Veronica. Well, thank you. Come on in, newbie. Come on in. Come on in. Um. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna go down my notes. First of all, my first note is Tamar's a brat. Let me tell y'all something. Tamar Braxton, and I have said this from the beginning of the show. I ain't always reviewed the show and all that, but I have said this from the beginning of the show. I honestly do not know how much of what she puts on camera is really her and how much is for the camera. The way the sisters act let me make me feel like that's just who she really is. That is who she really is. Exactly, Margie. Um, because they're not real surprised by her shenanigans. I think sometimes she goes a little overboard, but it's like she really, I, it's a mess, and she's a brat. She is a brat. It was her birthday weekend, and let me tell you something. I love my birthday. Tamar does need some serious therapy, but here's the thing: people have tried to give her therapy. She don't want to hear it. You can't get therapy if you're not ready to receive it. If you're not ready to hear what people are trying to tell you, then there's no therapy there. You know what I'm saying? That's just like people going into rehab. Unless they're really ready to be rehabbed, there's nothing you can't. It's nothing to do. Absolutely, she is. Isn't Tamar what she was turning 42, right? Or well, how old she was turning? So look, I love my birthday. I think my birthday is the most important day of the year. I tell people all the time, and all my friends know. Matter of fact, it's funny because my birthday is coming up next month, and I hadn't sent out. I knew what I was doing for my birthday, but I hadn't sent anything out yet. I got a phone call yesterday. One of my friends was like, your birthday's coming up. I ain't heard nothing yet. Because I do something for my birthday every year. It could be something small, it could be something big. I do something, well, Ebony, I guess it's just me and you, boo. I do something for my birthday every year. And my thing is, I love my birthday and I think my birthday is great, but I also understand that it ain't everybody else's birthday. And if people take their time to come and see me and spend time with me on my birthday, for me, what's up, little baby? Hey, girl, come on in. For me, what's up? My whole crew coming through. What's up, crew? What's up? Yes, come on with y'all. I feel like if people are choosing to spend your birthday with you, that's a gift, especially at this point in our lives. Like, who the fuck at 42 years old expect gifts? Am I wrong? Don't get me wrong. I welcome gifts. But who expects gifts and then get mad and pout like a little baby when they don't get a gift? I'm getting to that. I'm going to get to that, Veronica. I'm going to get to that with her and David. I'm getting to that in a second. So, my first thing is that whole, it was my birthday and y'all only bought me a pair of sunglasses and a card. First of all, why do people? Because I looked at a couple of reviews today, which I normally don't do. I normally wait till after I say what I got to say before I look at other people's reviews. But a couple of the reviews I looked at today, people kept saying, "Oh, the sisters got her with some sunglasses and a card." Are we forgetting that they also got her a hot air balloon excursion that she did not want? And those are not cheap. So let's stop acting like they didn't give her anything else. They did. First of all, they came to Napa and spent the weekend with you. And I know that the show paid for the trip, but the time that people took out of their weekends or however long they were there, 4 or 5 days, that's part of your gift. Everything somebody does for you pertaining to your birthday is part of your damn gift. So the fact that me and my man were here for 4 days, regardless of whether we were filming, regardless of whether I was getting paid to be here, I'm still spending time for you for your birthday. That's number one. Number two, we went to dinner. Sometimes for my birthday, that's all I do is go to dinner. I just invite people and we go to a really nice restaurant and we have dinner. And the gift to me is that I don't even expect people to pay for me. I expect you to pay your own bill because I'm not treating you, but I don't expect people to pay for me. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So people, they've had dinner. They bought you some. I'm sure them sunglasses they bought you was probably $1,500 to $2,000. I'm sure they were Chanel or Gucci or Louis or something. They had somebody's name on them, which means that they were expensive. Okay, they didn't get them at the CVS or the Walgreens on their way to the vineyard. And they got you a hot air balloon excursion, which again, I know those are not cheap. You didn't want to go. All right, let me read some of these comments. I expect gifts. I also get disappointed when my gifts don't match the gifts I give. And I can respect that, Shauna. I respect that. I absolutely do. And don't get me wrong. If I don't get a gift, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I don't get a little disappointed if I don't get what I wanted or whatever. That's human nature. But to act a damn fool over it is where the difference between an 8-year-old and a 40-year-old. I expect the 8-year-old to pout. I do not expect the 40-year-old to pout. Be disappointed, absolutely. There are times when, I expected certain things for my birthday that I did not get as an adult. But to ruin and pout and make everybody else's birthday, I don't expect anything from anyone on my birthday, but appreciate whatever someone decides. Yeah. What people need to realize is nobody obligated to give. Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's the least they can do is pay for my dinner. But hey, Terry Line, how you doing? But all I'm saying is I don't expect it. You see what I'm saying? I don't expect it, but yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice if somebody pays for my dinner. Shit, like I said, when I had the last big birthday party I had, honey, I think I had probably 10 bottles of Jack Daniels. I like Jack Daniels. My friends were like, "Okay, Jack Daniels, easy." Yep. Do I have company right now? Don't say that. Stop playing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't have me. Don't do that. You don't have me on no damn horror film. No, ain't nobody behind me. Ain't nobody in my house. Are you serious? Is somebody? Don't do that. Don't have me. Don't do that. Ain't nobody in my house. Don't be playing with me. It's a shadow. Is it a shadow in my house? I tell y'all what, if y'all see somebody kill me, just make sure y'all call 911 and report it. Because I swear ain't nobody in my house. So y'all got me paranoid now. Y'all got me paranoid now. Oh my God. Don't do that. I have the ceiling fan going, and it may be a reflection off the ceiling fan. I don't know what to tell y'all, but no, there's nobody in my house. Don't do that. Y'all really have me nervous. Don't do that. Oh God. I don't do horror movies. I don't do horror movies. Anyway. Hey Jacqueline, come on in here. They messing with me, girl. They messing with me. Okay. So the other thing that went down, Kevin gave all the men cigars. If anybody knows anything about cigars are, do you know how many $1 million deals were made in a cigar bar or over a cigar and cognac. Do you know how many uh, high end situations happen over some cognac and a good cigar, whether you actually indulge in the habit or not? For Tamar to act like a cigar was ghetto, like they weren't Black and Milds, they weren't nice cigars. You could tell that they were nice cigars. Kevin said that he is a cigar aficionado, so he knows what he's doing. Um, he knows what they are, and he was just giving them as a gesture. There's no obligation for you to smoke them. If a Tamar to act that much of a damn fool over talking about some, well, he has clients and he has an important $1 billion client that he could lose over smoking a cigar. Really? Really, Tamar? First of all, this man was a millionaire before he met you. He's a self-made man. Do you not think that he knows how to handle his business? Well, he don't understand reality. Then if you were that concerned about him not being able to negotiate or navigate a reality TV situation, you shouldn't have brought him on camera. Tawanda kept her man off camera for damn near 2 years. This is the first season we have seen him, and we knew he existed because she kept telling us she was dating somebody, and she didn't bring him on camera. So if Tawanda cannot bring somebody on camera, you damn sure don't have to bring nobody on camera. You don't want to bring on camera. You chose to bring him on camera. So now don't sit here and act like you defended him. Oh, he don't know how to handle himself, and you covering his mouth and you all that. That was so unnecessary. Ooh, who R. Kelly look like? Ooh. What up? What up, Teddy? How you doing, boo? Cigars are not ghetto. Now they are different. Like I said, now Black and Milds are like the bastards of cigarillos and Black and Milds and all that. And let me say, I smoke. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. I went on a cruise one time, and because I smoke Black and Milds, I had to smoke in the cigar bar. I couldn't smoke in the cigarette area of the cruise. Do you know who I'm? You know, I met all kinds of people in that hanging out in that cigar bar. I met architects. I met entrepreneurs. I met some folks, and I still have networked with some of those people today. They invited me to come to the Hamptons and hang out with them because that's where certain people hang out. And I was like, well, shit, I ain't in here doing nothing but. And they introduced me to real cigars and different types of cigars and different types of cognac and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, Tawanda man favor R. Kelly. Oh, I hope he don't favor R. Kelly's habits. I'm just saying. What up, Lady V? I ain't caught you in a while, boo. Yes. Okay, crew. Come on through, crew. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for about an hour, and then I'm gonna go watch the game over a friend's house to watch the game tonight. Hang out a little bit, act like I'm grown instead of sitting in the house on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying? They about gave me a heart attack 5 minutes ago, talking about some who that behind you. Whew, Lord, it be. I had me lose my mind. Now, somebody said something earlier about, yeah, Sean is cute. David, let me tell you something about David. I don't think David is classically cute, but I think David has a sex appeal to him about the way he carries himself. I love how he carries himself. Let me say this, though. David is good for Tamar. Tamar is not good for David. If Tamar would actually calm the fuck down and listen to someone other than herself, David actually seems like a pretty good guy for him. I mean, for her. But she's not good for him because she don't know how to fucking act. That's how I feel about that situation with David. And I like David. He seems to be, he clearly loves her because when nobody that don't love you put up with her shenanigans. But there's going to be a certain point where that's just not going to be enough. He's just going to get tired of it. It's just not going to be enough. And Tony gave her some good advice. Tony told her, you first of all, you have to, at the end of the day, got to remember that that's a man. And you got to let a man be a man. That's a man right there. You can't treat him any old kind of way. You can't talk to him any old kind of way. He's a man. And you're going to lose him. You keep treating him like you something that you got to control. You know what I'm saying? She is very insecure, and she always has been. Yeah, she did. She was like, "Stop, shut up, stop, 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 be quiet, be quiet." He was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't cover my mouth." And she just kept doing it. And I was like, at what point do you hear anybody other than yourself? Do you hear? And this is my thing. And I have to say, I looked at Funky Dineva's video, and I agree with a lot of what Funky said. One of the things that Funky said was, at a certain point, Tamar is just choosing to be this person, because there's no way you're going to sit here and tell me that you don't see, feel, hear yourself. And even when the seasons play back, that you don't see how ridiculous you look and how ridiculous you sound, and not say, "Oh shoot, I'm a dummy. Look at me. Look how stupid I act." Black Mirror. That's, yeah. Y'all keep telling me I need to watch Black Mirror. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I haven't had a chance to do it. I looked at When They See Us last weekend, and that's all I could do. I couldn't. I could not. That's all I could do. And I still ain't seen the last 30 minutes, because I didn't realize it was only a 4-part series for whatever reason. And so I thought it was like another. What I felt like was that, since it was the Central Park 5, I thought it was 5 episodes. And so I got to like the last 20 minutes of part 4. That was Corey's, and I just had to turn it off. And honestly, I just haven't gone back to it. And then when I found out it's only 4 episodes, I was like, "Oh well, I'm almost done." So I pretty much saw all I needed to see, I guess. Like at this point, I turned it off right when the guy was admitting that he actually was the rapist. So at this point, it's just a matter of, I guess, going through the legal maneuvers of them getting exonerated and Corey actually getting out of jail. So I feel like I've seen most of it. I'm avoiding everything till I see it. Till you see what? When They See Us? Let me tell you, Teddy, if you wait to get in a good headspace, you ain't gonna never see it, because there is no headspace you can get in to watch. There's no good head. Let me tell. Okay, hold on. Let me finish with these Braxtons, and then I'm gonna get on When They See Us. Okay, Tracy is the fucking black sheep, and at this point, I just don't know if they understand just how isolated she has felt all of these years. Was she extra on the episode last night? Yes, but I think she just hit her point. I think there's a point where there's no more you can take, and I think that was the point she hit at that moment. It was no more she could take. She just could not take any more of what her family was giving her. I just think that she just couldn't do it. I don't think it's just about the record deal. I think that, like her husband said, that's where it started. And then over the years, the sisters had each other because they were in the music industry. Tawanda was Tony's assistant. Tamar, Trina, Tawanda sang backup. Like they had that little foursome going, and Tracy was on the outside for all of those years because Tracy was back here in Maryland, raising her kids, married to her husband. Even when Tawanda got married, she was still working for Tony. Even when Trina got married, she was still working for Tony. So the sisters always had each other, but but Tracy didn't have them. And that was what I don't think any of them are understanding. I don't think Tracy is still stuck on they left her for the record deal. They left her, period. Because at this point, if Tracy is still stuck on the record deal, she does need to let that go. Because at a certain point, you just have to forgive and move on. You have to say, we were young. We all made the decisions that we made. Could they have, in my mind, I feel like they could have fought harder for me. In their mind, it was, record deals don't come every day. We got to take this record deal or we're going to lose the deal. You made your decision. And again, I'm not saying that she should not have had her child, but you made your decision. We had to make our decision. That's how I felt about that. But I don't think it's just about that. I think that was the beginning of the split in their relationship. And I don't think that it wasn't until they started doing Braxton Family Values that they started actually dealing with those issues, because Tracy had always been the outsider for the last 20 years. Yeah, she probably came to Christmas dinner and family functions and all of that. But remember, up until Braxton Family Values, Tony was the only Braxton. Like the Braxtons had their album, but it flopped. People knew them by name, but they weren't a household name, the Braxton sisters. You know what I'm saying? It was just Tony. And then the show came out, and all of the issues that they never dealt with, even the parents' issues, were all out on Front Street now. So, I think one of the most profound statements that was made on that episode last night was when Tracy said to Tamar, You make it so hard to love you. You make it so hard to love you. And I think that's it. You make it Tamar, you make it so hard for them to love you. You make it hard for people like me to even like you. And I don't know her, so I don't dislike her from a point of view because I don't know her like that. But from what she shows us, you make it so hard for people to like you. And I don't know if that's her defense mechanism or what, but uh yeah, I think Tracy gets tongue tied. She gets angry, she gets upset, and then what she wants to say it just doesn't come out right. They did address the record. They've addressed all this shit a million times, and that's why last night when the boyfriends decided they were gonna get together and try to make something work, and that's what Tracy said. Tracy said if Ayanna couldn't do it, if Bishop T.D. Jakes couldn't do it, if Dr. Sherry couldn't do it, what the fuck y'all gonna do? And that's what Kevin, and I think that's where Kevin was coming from too, to say, look, we don't get in their business. Them sisters, that's their business. The men don't get involved. Yeah, I mean, I that was the other thing. Yeah, Tracy was even labeled as the wannabe the first season. But remember, they labeled Tracy the wannabe and they labeled Trina the drunk. Because remember, Trina had gotten that DUI. And so I'm like, even from the beginning, the whole thing was shady. The whole thing was shady with Tracy. Okay. The engagement. I have no idea. I do not understand how in the world Tamar could be so mad and so evil as to how she treated her sister when her sister got engaged. With everything your sister has been dealing with Gabe and everything she's been going through, I don't understand how in the world you could be that evil to be like, fuck Trina. Wow. Well, she called her a bitch. She didn't say fuck Trina. She called her a bitch. That's what she did. You live streamed it. And like her fiance said, Vaughn said, you didn't even give us the opportunity to tell our family ourselves. I was getting phone calls from people talking about some congratulations. I didn't even know she had live streamed it. So the fact that you live streamed it and then they didn't even know you live streamed it, and then you live streamed it. Hey James, how you doing? Thanks for coming through, James. Thanks for coming through, you guys. James Cox has a great um he has a great YouTube channel where it's all about empowering and supporting and increasing YouTube channels. It is a really great, it's been very great for me. It's been a really great yes, awesome sauce. It was really great for me. It really helped me build my channel. I mean, it's still helping me. I'm not saying, but I mean, in the very beginning when I had like 5 subscribers, you know what I'm saying? And they would do marathons and all these different things. So, hey, James, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. And absolutely, definitely a great place for you guys to go and network. Absolutely, it is. Michael K, who is in here a lot. Hey, Mama Six. It's definitely a great place for you to go and network and share your information with your channel and your movie situation and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, and so I think that's the engagement situation. I just think that was so disrespectful to your sister and to Vaughn, how you handled it, and just even your attitude. And like Vaughn said, her birthday dinner was the day before. We were just having dinner. We were just having dinner, So I don't know. I just feel like I do feel like Tracy needs to figure out a way to better express herself, but I feel like the point that she was trying to make was really valid. And at this point, when she said y'all are just my coworkers, maybe that's just what they need to be for right now. I don't know. I don't know. They ended it by saying that, because their niece passed away and that they recommitted, when somebody dies, when you have a death in the family, then you absolutely realize that life is short and some things are just not that serious. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll work some things out. And I'm sure some of it was done for TV drama, like we get it. But those sisters got some problems. Those sisters definitely. Oh, thanks, Boo. Thank you. This is actually my favorite lip gloss. This is Arbonne. You might not be familiar with Arbonne. Arbonne is a makeup company that is all about it's all healthy products, natural products. Like a lot of stuff in makeup, we don't even know about it, but like it's a lot of products and makeup that they sell in the US, they're allowed to sell in the US that wouldn't pass in other countries, wouldn't pass the test in other countries because other countries are very much thanks, James. Other countries is very much the regulations, their rules and regulations are a lot more stricter than our FDA. And so Arbonne is a product that sells natural stuff. And they have everything. They have everything from makeup to health and beauty to, bath stuff, all kinds of stuff. And I used to sell it. I don't sell it anymore, but I used to sell it. And this was actually my favorite lip gloss when I sell it. I still buy the products. I still buy a lot of their products, but I don't sell it anymore. Hey, Monk Chip. I hope I said that right. Hey, Monk Chip. Okay, thanks for coming through, James. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. But yeah, so thank you. This is my favorite. And I think it's called, this why I'm about to be old, y'all. I gotta take my glasses off to read it. It's Highsmith. Highsmith. But yeah, I've always liked darker colors. I like bronzes and darker colors. When I try to wear these other colors, they just don't look right on me. Y'all see, like some of these colors, these lighter colors, I wear them in some of my videos, and I just don't like the way they look on me. And so I don't know. Anyway, okay. So when they see us, so let me talk about when they see us for a few minutes. If you're waiting to be ready to see it, you will never see it. Oh my gosh, Monk Chip, thank you. Super chat. Thank you, boo. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like bronze and gold on my lips. And I don't do a lot of makeup. I will do foundation and I'll do a lip. I used to do my eyes, but I wear glasses and I feel like the effect is gone. Like I feel like you don't see anything because of my glasses. And I can't do contacts. I've tried to do contacts a million times. Me and putting something in my eye just don't get along. I just can't do it. So I just wear my glasses. So I don't really do a lot of eye stuff that I used to. And I've just never been a big makeup person. I was a tomboy growing up. I think most people probably thought I was going in the other direction because I was such a tomboy and I hung out with guys and I liked sports and most of my friends were guys and all the stereotypes. So I think a lot of people thought I was going in a different direction, but I wasn't. I would always, no offense or disrespect to nobody, but just that whole the stereotype. You know what I'm saying? But I always did a lip though. I always kept some lipstick on from as soon as my mama said I could wear lipstick. I always kept lipstick on. And they didn't always like the, because I went through, I won't say goth, but I went through a phase where all I wore was dark burgundies, dark reds, like honey. And remember when lip liner, now people do the lip liner and they blend it. Remember when you just did the lip liner, you can let the lip line, honey. Yes. I'm still very much a tomboy. I'm still very much a tomboy, but I'm a little softer than I used to be when I was younger. I'm a little softer, but yeah, I'm still yes, honey, the black lip liner or the brown. I used to wear brown lip liner, dark brown lip liner with that, honey. No, I wore black too. I did do black. I did black too. And I used to try to do in high school, I tried eyeliner. And again, by the time, first of all, I can't see what the fuck I'm doing. So I gotta take my glasses off to try to put eyeliner on, and that always was a mess. Then I go through all of that to try to put the eyeliner on, just to put my glasses over top of it. It was a mess. I just stopped doing it. I just stopped trying it. Yeah, I love sports. Honey, I don't think that Jacqueline, I don't know if my family was shocked. If they were, they never said anything. But I do, like I said, I do think there was some people that was questioning some things. I ain't gonna lie, I think they were. But it is what it is. I just had that conversation with a friend of mine a few weeks ago. His daughter is young and she's a tomboy and all that. And we were having a conversation and he was like, I raised her how I raised her. She knows how we feel about certain things. But if my daughter come home and that's how she is, and that's how she is, she's my daughter. So, I think that's pretty much how my family was. Like, if it is what it is, honey. What was funny was the people that they weren't checking for, my family were the ones that brought home some interesting, folks. You know what I'm saying? That's what was funny. I said, oh, y'all wasn't even thinking about her, were you? But Ebony, Honey, you and Mama Six, y'all always I like y'all makeup. How y'all do y'all makeup? Honey, when I was going through my little phase with my dark stuff, I would do a dark lip liner. I do lip now. I'll do a light lip liner now, but of course, like now we blend it. But when you used to just like that whole Aaliyah thing, and who was it? Aaliyah. Who else was good for that lip liner? Y'all know who I'm talking about. That whole little era, girl. Yes, but yeah. So Teddy, you still in here, Teddy? Yes, that's what it is because I mean, like we just had graduation. I'm in education. We just had graduation on Monday. And I don't wear a lot of skirts and dresses to work. I really don't. But of course it was graduation. So, I wore a nice little skirt, little suit with a skirt, and oh my goodness, they were like, what? 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 I was like, look, I do own skirts. I just don't wear them a lot. um Yeah, Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was good for it. You are right. She was good for it. I'm definitely a huge sports fan, and for me, it's more football. Like I said, I'm going to leave in about another 30 minutes or so to go watch the game over a friend's house. I definitely like sports. Okay, but back to When They See Us, y'all. So I'm trying to. I'm actually in the process of getting some friends together for us to have a conversation to do a live conversation about When They See Us. Um, and it's funny because the first two people that I thought to ask were, and they were both of them, and I didn't even make the connection at the time when I asked them. They both were like, they were like, well, I'll come and talk to you about it, but I ain't see it. Hey, viewers of you. Hey, girl, how you doing? They were both like, I'll come and do the show with you, but I haven't seen it and I ain't gonna watch it. And what I didn't think about was the fact that both of them grew up in New York during this time period. So they had a front row center view of what was going on in New York and the mob mentality and that whole situation. And I said, well, that to me is even more valuable than you watching the movie and me getting your response. You lived it from a black man, a black boy living in New York during this era. So I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Um, I saw the documentary when it came out. What was about 4 or 5 years ago? The documentary came out, and I was so pissed. I was so pissed. And as pissed as I thought I was watching that documentary, ain't got nothing on watching the movie. One, because it's a movie, it's meant to invoke feelings. Two, you got more information than the documentary gave you. Because of course the documentary gave you just the facts. But the movie dug deep into the effects on the family and the relationships of the family and what the people who were left behind had to deal with and what they dealt with on a day-to-day basis in jail. More so, they really dug deep into Corey's story because Corey was the only one out of the five that went to adult jail. So he dealt with adult situations at 16 years old. And of course, all the things you would think he dealt with, he dealt with. There were people in jail who thought he was guilty. So he was treated as a sexual predator. He was treated as a rapist. He was treated as someone who raped a good old rich white woman. How dare you? You know, um, and Corey in the documentary they alluded to. I think they actually said it in the documentary. In the movie, they don't really bring it up, but in the documentary, they do speak on the fact that he was a little delayed. Like you can look at Corey in the original videotapes and see that Corey is not. He probably had a learning disability and he probably was delayed and he wasn't going to school. And probably why he wasn't going to school is because he wasn't good in school and he was frustrated because he did need extra help. And what came out in the court documents when he was on the stand, he couldn't read. So when they asked him, read your statement of where you confessed to raping this woman, he couldn't even read it because he can't read. Well, I'm sure he can read now, but at the time he could not read. So again, he was the one that went to adult jail. He was probably the one out of all five of them who probably needed the most help. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. Yeah, Mama Six. I had to step away. I watched the first episode, paused, watched the second episode, paused for the next. I couldn't even watch it again till the next day or the day after that. I think I started on Friday and I watched first two episodes on Friday and then I watched two episodes on Sunday. And like I said, I got about 20 minutes left of the final episode. Yeah, he was in Attica. Absolutely. First of all, he was on Rikers Island. When the rest of the boys went to detention, juvenile detention, he went to Rikers Island. Then from Rikers Island, he was in Attica. Honey, honey. Oh, and and of course we know that Ava is the fucking queen, but she absolutely did. She absolutely humanized those boys. And something that oh yeah, I know you're talking about Linda was it Feinstein, whatever that bitch name was. Yeah, the documentary Jacqueline, the documentary will get you ready, but the movie takes you to it. It just evokes emotions. It was like for me, it was like when I went to go see Rosewood in the movie theater. And I'm serious, y'all. I came out of Rosewood wanting to kill somebody. Like I was that angry. And I knew the story of Rosewood. I had read, I love history. I love Black history. So I knew the story of Rosewood. I had read about Rosewood. I had read accounts of Rosewood and it pissed me off. But seeing it in a movie form, in the story form, honey, and I was living in North Carolina at the time, and I came out that theater, I literally had to go home and like make myself stay in the house for a little while. Like seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. It was like, take your ass home. And I think I'm gonna go see it on a Saturday. And I ain't come back out the house till Monday when I had to go to work. Cause I was like, I need to just stay here for a little while and just be with myself. Cause that's how angry I was. And that is how I feel. And the Central Park jogger, she still feels like those boys are guilty. She feels like she accepts the fact that the other guy raped her, but she feels like that he wasn't alone and that those boys helped because in her mind she just can't, I guess, wrap her brain around the fact that this man did it by himself. Never mind the fact that he's a serial rapist. Never mind the fact that he raped and killed a pregnant woman in front of her children. Never mind the fact that he raped his own mama. But you can't wrap your brain around the fact that he raped you by his little old lonesome, and he had to have of these 5 little children, because that's what they were, children, hold you down. Like that's what you had to have. Child, please. But what I thought about, and I had to come to the realization is it goes back to people's experience. I don't think she can't wrap her brain around the fact that this man raped her by himself. What she can't wrap her brain around is the fact that the police and the DA did these things. That's what she can't accept. I think she understands and she can fully accept that a man can rape you by himself. He don't need nobody to hold you down, especially if you hit your ass upside the head with a goddamn brick first. He don't need no help holding you down. I don't think that's really her problem. I think because in her experience, in her world, the police don't do anything wrong. Police are heroes. Police wouldn't dare lie to 14-year-olds and manipulate parents and keep parents from talking to their children and lie to the parents. Police wouldn't do that. Police wouldn't dare play with a timeline to make it fit their narrative. The police wouldn't do that because that's not her reality. That's not her world. That ain't how she grew up. But for us, we absolutely believe that the police did that. You ain't got to convince me. I know the police did it. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't look at those tapes of those boys and know that they fucking lying, if you can't look at those tapes, Corey ass changed the story 50 times. By the time he got done telling the story, everybody in this in their confession tapes, all of them had everybody else raping them except for them. And then what we find out is they didn't even know each other. Yusef and Corey knew each other. And the only reason why Corey went to the police station was to protect Yusef, to look out for Yusef, because Yusef was green. He ain't know nothing about the police. Corey was a little bit more streetwise. He still didn't know nothing either. But he was a little bit more streetwise, and he went down there to keep an eye on Yusef. Because of course the police said, we just want to ask y'all some questions about what happened in the park. Y'all not suspects. So the person who went to the adult jail who had the worst situation really wasn't even supposed to be there. He went down there looking out for his friend. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of shit that piss you off. So yeah, this little old innocent Wall Street white woman can't wrap her brain around the police being the bad guys. That's what it is. I think she could wrap her brain around the fact that this man raped her by herself. She can't wrap her brain around the fact that the police included these boys and they were innocent. That's what she just can't wrap her brain around. Right. She doesn't want to accept the fact that that the system was wrong. First of all, who's to say that that DNA wasn't from, maybe did you have sex before you left the house? Were those clean shorts you had on? You know what I'm saying? The thing about DNA is, and I'm no scientist by any stretch of the imagination. First of all, that was the early days of DNA. So just because it was an unidentified DNA sample, that could have been anything from anywhere. Okay? Anything from anywhere. That's number one. Number two, and they don't really get into that in the, well, let me say this, I don't remember because I only watched it once and I ain't watching it again. So sometimes, you see something one time and you miss stuff and then you go back again, you be like, oh, I didn't hear that the first time. So maybe they did say exactly where that DNA sample came from that was unidentified. But I do know that the sock, was it the sock that had the unidentified DNA, or was it the sock that had the DNA that eventually was what the DNA they matched to the rapist? I don't remember. But yeah, she was like, there's unidentified DNA, so they had to be involved. No, the fuck they didn't. Maybe that sample was just corrupted. Maybe if that was a clean sample, it would have matched Angel, what's her name? Angel Ramirez. But maybe it was a corrupted sample. Like, it's a lot of different reasons why that DNA was inconclusive. And yes, it could not exclude them. However, there was nothing else there connected to those boys. Nothing else there connecting to those boys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another reason why you're right. That's another reason why she can't accept it, because then she has to accept that these people lied to her. Well, they lied to everybody. Boo, you ain't special. They lied to everybody. Y'all, have y'all tried this Coke, this orange vanilla Coke? I picked it up today. I just tried it today. It's too sweet for me. And I know y'all gonna say, then why the fuck you drinking it? Because I'm thirsty. But I wouldn't buy it again. It's too sweet. It's too sweet. It's too sweet. And I'm only drinking it because I'm thirsty. But I'll probably end up throwing the rest of that away. Ooh, the Jenna 6. That's another good one. That's a good one, Teddy. You know what I would like for her to do now? I don't know how well she would be able to document it. The Scottsboro Boys. That would be a good one too. That would be a good one too. The Scottsboro Boys. That would be a real good one to do. Yeah, those confessions, like I said, and I said that when I saw the documentary, because I remember the Central Park case when I was a kid, but I didn't follow it like that. I didn't live in New York. I lived down here. I didn't follow the day to day of it, but I do remember hearing about it. And I remember that term, the Central Park Five. Like, I remember that, but it wasn't until the doc. And I remember through the years, different. Nightline might do a 5 years later kind of thing, but it wasn't until the documentary that I got so much information about what happened. And I lost my train of thought of what the hell I was getting ready to say. What point was I making? Okay, hold on. Somebody said something. Oh, the cops coerced. Thank you. Whew, Lord. Um, when I saw those tapes, and like I said, Corey, and the other thing I did not know until the movie, the tape of Kevin, where he has that scratch under his eye. Now they made it look worse in the movie. I will say, Ava, you did exaggerate it in the movie, but in the confession tape, when Kevin had that scratch under his eye, and they kept trying to say that came from the jogger defending herself and scratching him under the eye. Now, mind you, she didn't have no DNA under her nails, but Come to find out, the police had done that, and Kevin never said anything because, of course, you're gonna tell the police that the police did it, and he was scared and all that other stuff. So one of the things that they used against him, they did it. They did it to him. They did it, man. Yeah, it'll make you sick. It'll make you mad. Yeah, it's sad because those kids will never get that back. And even what happened to them when they got out of jail, how they had to register as sex offenders and move back into the neighborhood, and what their families had to deal with them. You saw Yusef's mom lose her job and have to go on welfare. You know what I mean? Paying those legal bills, like all the stuff that happened to them, everything that happened to them. Right. Even something as simple as when Corey, I don't remember if it was Corey or one of the other ones, described the clothes she had on. He described them wrong. Like the stuff that if you looked at a Law and Order episode today, right? And I've seen this happen on, because I've seen every episode of Law and Order 500 times. I've seen this happen where somebody's in there trying to confess to something, but they get all the facts wrong, and the police are like, "Okay, you ain't really do it. What's wrong? Why you ain't confessing? Why you in here trying to confess to something you didn't do? You got all the facts wrong." But in this case, it was like the exact opposite. They got all the facts wrong, but it was like, "Oh well, we know you can't tell us nothing about what happened, but you must have really done it." What kind of bullshit is that, man? Yeah, they stole those kids' lives. They absolutely stole those kids' lives. And there's no amount of money that will give them their lives back. And then they didn't want to give them no money. Bloomberg was like, "I'm not settling this case." It wasn't until Mayor de Blasio was elected mayor that he settled that case and gave those boys that money. So that's why when people try to act like Bloomberg was this great mayor, I'd be like, where? Where? Now, I didn't live in New York, so I can't speak from a first-hand basis, but from where I sit, Bloomberg wasn't all that great of no damn mayor. He remember Stop and Frisk, that was under Bloomberg. Like, come on now, let's stop it. No, hell no, that money wasn't enough. It'll never be enough. But what I can say is that I can appreciate that those boys um are working towards helping. You know what I'm saying? They very much have been, and a few have been more on the forefront than others, but they very much have been on the forefront of social justice and all of that. So yeah, I would say this. I think that what I have found with my friends is that it's a lot harder for my male friends to sit through it than my female friends. But this is my opinion, and I don't mean this to be offensive to anyone. I said this to a friend of mine this weekend, and I feel like she got offended when I said this. So I don't mean this to be offensive to anyone, but I feel like they lived it. At the very least, we could watch it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this was their life. This is what these kids went through. Well, they're men now, but so I feel like at the very least, what I owe them is me watching their story. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not offended if somebody say I just could not do it. Like I understand, but that's why I went back to it, because it was really hard. But that's why I went back to it, because I was like, okay, if I can't even watch it, they lived it. That's the least I can do is give it to them. You know what I'm saying? Get them. That's the least I can do, because I can't do nothing to change nothing that happened to them. You know what I mean? Yeah, they ain't like de Blasio for a lot of reasons. And don't get me wrong, I ain't saying de Blasio was perfect. Hell, I don't think no politician is perfect. As much as I loved Obama, he wasn't perfect. But there's not being perfect because you don't give a damn, and then there's not being perfect. Excuse me, y'all. But you're trying. You just aren't perfect. You know what I mean? But there's not being perfect because you just don't give a damn and you ain't trying, and you all about making money for big corporations and stuff like that. And then there's, you're not perfect, but you're trying to do the right thing. Like, I can accept that, because hell, I ain't perfect. And I know I make mistakes all the time. But it's not with any malice that I do it, and there's the difference. Hey, Jamila. Yeah, watch it little by little. Take one episode at a time. Hell, take a half episode at a time. It ain't going nowhere. It's on Netflix. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere for a minute. Take your time. Take your time. Yeah, and little baby, me and you are a lot alike in some ways because let me be honest with you. There are some movies that I've never seen that I ain't never going to see. Like for example, 12 Years a Slave. I ain't never gonna see that. I ain't seen it. I ain't never gonna see it. What for? I feel like movie. See, to a certain extent, and I love history. I'm a historian. I have degrees in it. You know all that. That's what I do. But there are just some like I for a while for a while I was obsessed with the Holocaust because I could not wrap my brain around me. I still can't. I could not wrap my brain around that level of hate, right? And don't get me wrong, I grew up knowing slavery. I didn't learn about the Holocaust until I was in the 8th grade, not on an intimate level to be like, what the hell? And from like 8th grade for like 3 or 4 years, I was obsessed with the Holocaust. Like I read everything I could find on the Holocaust. I watched every movie. Like at this point, if I don't never see another movie about the Holocaust or never read another book about the Holocaust, I am okay. And I don't feel like that's disrespectful. I feel like I get it. I get it. I feel like it's people who don't get it or don't know. They're the ones that now need to go out and educate themselves. And so that's how I feel about movies like 12 Years a Slave. I get it. I don't need to see another slavery movie. I don't. I don't need to see not another movie about the brutality of slavery. I get it. Now, stories like the Central Park Five, the Jenna Six, the Scottsboro Boys, I know what I've read, but I would love to see it brought the way Ava was able to bring those boys and bring a humanity to them. As hard as it would be for me to watch, I would love to see that. You understand what I'm saying? But to constantly I think it's T.I. and some other people. I can't remember all the names now. Maybe it's Jay-Z. I don't remember who it is. They getting ready to make an Emmett Till movie. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I've seen it. Been there, done that. I know it. I know. I get it. That movie is for people who don't get it and don't know. That ain't. I don't need it. I don't need to see it. And that is no disrespect to the story at all. But at a certain point, you got it. You're not giving me nothing new. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I got backed up on these comments. Hold on. Yeah, I love the original Law and Order. They need to reboot it. As much as they want to reboot every damn thing, they need to reboot Law and Order. That's my shit. I still watch Law and Order, and I swear I've seen every episode 20 times. I can tell you within the first. I've stopped watching it like maybe the last 2 years. I haven't really been watching it too much, but for a while, within the first 5 minutes of any Law and Order episode, I'd tell you exactly what was going to happen, and I would still watch it again. Love Law and Order. Yeah, that's the Django Unchained. I'm good. I don't need to see it. I'm good. Yeah, Obama let a lot of cool points when he fell asleep in the meeting for HBCU advocates. Oh, lost a lot of cool points and only wake up to tell them to get the graduation numbers up and walk out. Well, yeah, I'm never watching 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Mama bought the movie but never watched it. It's still wrapped up. Probably forgot she even has it. Yeah, I don't need to see it. I'm good. I love our history, but I'm too sensitive for many topics. It's like I internalize. I did that. Like I said, when I first learned about the Holocaust, that's how I did. I was obsessed with it. And I did the same thing when I first started learning about the Black Panthers. I was obsessed. I read everything I could find, watched everything I could watch. And so I was looking at something yesterday. ABC is doing this series called called 1969, and they're taking all of the like a lot of the events from 1969 and doing like 1 hour segments on it. And they did one on the Black Panthers, and I watched it, and I knew every single thing they had said. I knew all the people they were interviewing. I knew their story. I knew everything when they got to Fred Hampton, when they got to the shootout in Watts. Like I knew everything because I had read so much on the Panthers because I was obsessed with them for so long that I read every book I could find on the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? So like at a certain point, I get it. And I'm not making myself put myself on no sort of pedestal. That's just how my brain works. I'm like, Yeah, I internalize stuff and I want to know everything. I want to eat it all up. I want to know everything about that particular topic. And then it's like at a certain point, I'm full. And it's like, okay, I don't, you know what I'm saying? You find a favorite food and you eat it every single day. And at a certain point, you're like, all right, if I don't never eat that again, I'm good. That's kind of how I get about stuff. So now I don't never need to read another book about slavery or the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? Unless they gonna give me something that I really did not know. And I'm sure there are things I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I know everything, but I think I got it. I think I get the gist of it. No, and that's I agree, Lady V. That's what I'm saying. There are people who need it. There are people who need like when they read their roots. I still like the original. I didn't need a remake. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who need it. There are people who need um more movies on different topics. There are people who need it. And again, I'm not saying like there's nothing I can learn. I'm sure there are things that I can learn. I'm just saying I'm at a point where I'm full. Like I can't take anything more. So when a movie like 12 Years a Slave comes out, I don't need no more. I'm good. I don't need no more 12 Years a Slave. Got it. Got it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. So Teddy must have left the room because he normally be saying stuff. He must have had to roll out. What little baby? What you talking about? You talking about Emmett Till? When you said it may not have been his body because they drained that lake and they found many more black men at the bottom. Little baby, is that what you're talking about? You talking about Emmett Till? Yeah, yeah. See, and that's the thing. Well, his mother said that she identified him only because of his ring. He had on his father's ring. And so that's why they say that. That's why his mother said it was him. But you're right. With as disfigured as his body was, and it was funny because I was really surprised that they left his ring on because how evil they were, and that was something that was valuable. I'm surprised they didn't steal the ring off of Emmett Till. But he had his father's ring on, and his mother said that's the only reason why she knew it was her son. Was because it was, and she said in his ears. She said she knew his ears because they had the same ears because his ears came out at the bottom or something like that, and the ring. But you're right. That was a very popular dumping place. I haven't watched a lot of slavery based movies because I learned the history. Now I learned about World War II at a young age from my family and went to Germany and did the Nuremberg experience. And see, that's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was younger, I wanted to go to the concentration camps and stuff like that. I don't want to go anymore. I don't know if I can handle it. That's like I want to go to the slave caves, but I think I'm ready to go to the slave caves. I think I'm ready to go to the slave caves. I don't think I'm ready to go to the concentration camps. I don't think I'm ready for that. Yeah, I'm with you, Jacqueline. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know. I don't know. It's not at the top of my list right now to go to do any of the Holocaust. I've done the Holocaust Museum a few times. I used to take my students there, and I've actually met. The thing about the Holocaust Museum, you guys, I remember I took my students one year, and we had studied the Holocaust. Um, because the Holocaust Museum hadn't been open that long, and actually a friend of mine worked at the Holocaust Museum, so I was able to get um, a lot of teaching materials, and so we had done a lot of activities in the classroom. And so when we went to the Holocaust Museum, I'd never take my students somewhere without some sort of deliverable to bring back. And so they had to take their journals where they had, where we had done different activities, and they had to write certain things down as we went through the museum. And they had to document some stuff. I don't remember all the specifics of it now, but we were in the museum and I had them in groups. And before we went, and I let them know, I said, look, this is a very reverent museum. This is not a loud museum. This is not no rebel rousing museum. You guys, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know who's there and why they're there. So we need you to be very reverent, be quiet, that kind of thing. And at a certain point, I'm walking the museum, right? And I see my students talking to a woman, and they kept asking her questions. And I said, you guys, leave this woman alone. Like, she is trying to, because again, you don't know whose experience you're stepping on. And she said, oh no. She said, your students, she said, these are your students. She said, no, she said, they are very knowledgeable. She said, I'm learning from them. But what we found out was that she was a survivor. She was a child, obviously. She was a child, but she was actually a survivor. And she was so impressed that these little, I'm sure little black kids knew so much and was so knowledgeable about the Holocaust, and that the questions that they were asking her were valid questions. They weren't bullshit questions. You know what I'm saying? It was an experience. So I've met some survivors even going through the Holocaust Museum. Um, and it's a lot. It's a lot. You're a teacher too, Camilla? Let me tell y'all something. Okay, I ain't about to go down this road with y'all because I gotta break it off this line. But let me tell y'all something about Hitler. Not only, like I try to explain to my students, Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany in 1932. World War II didn't start until 1939. So there was 7 years of buildup before we got to that point. The other thing is, when Hitler wrote his book, Mein Kampf, he was very clear in his book that the Jews needed to be eliminated, and that was what his plan was. So the reality is, there was no surprise in what Hitler did. And yes, he started with the people who couldn't, that society forgot about, because back then, if you were mentally ill, they put you in the hospital and they forgot about you. Your family forgot about you. Society forgot about you. And so he started, and I forget what it was called. It was actually a program, and the program was actually exposed. But that is what he was doing. He was killing off the mentally ill. And you would just get a letter in the mail saying, oh, we're so sorry, your sister fell down the steps and had a horrible accident and died. Oh, we're so sorry, your mom had a heart attack and died. And these were people who probably had never visited their family members or didn't visit regularly, because back then that's just not, you know what I mean? They were in a mental hospital, and that's just what you did. So it wasn't suspicious until, I believe it was one of the nurses actually published got one of the memos published in the paper, and people found out about it. But let's be clear, the world knew what the fuck Hitler was doing. They just felt like that's not our job. That's not our place. Okay? Including the United States. Anne Frank's family actually tried to get into the United States, and they were denied. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, we all guilty. When I say we, not me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the world was guilty and complicit in what happened in the Holocaust. And that's why they bent over backwards. And they bent over backwards after World War II to try to make amends, because they were all guilty. They were all guilty. And then Stalin killed twice as many people as Hitler ever did. But ain't nobody say nothing to Stalin ass, because Stalin helped get rid of Hitler. Don't get me started. I ain't going down that road with y'all today. I ain't going down that road. Very systematic, very much so. He also went after the LGBTQ community, because again, who's going to fight for them, especially in 1930? Who's fighting for the gay men, the gay women? So he went after the people in society that nobody would fight for first. First, very systematic. Honey, it's always based on a lie. Little baby, that could be a whole nother lie for a whole nother day. Why the U.S. really got involved, honey? Honey, that could be a whole little baby. Me and you be vibing. That's a whole nother. Oh, honey, Stalin was worse than Hitler ever was. Well, no, I ain't gonna say he was worse than Hitler ever was. Let me not say that, because you can't compare one serial killer to another serial killer. They were both serial killers. But what I'm saying is, Stalin killed more people than Hitler did in his reign. Now, granted, he was in power longer than Hitler was, but Stalin was far from a saint. Stalin was a paranoid, he was a paranoid narcissist. Anybody that he felt was an enemy of the state, they had to be eliminated. And he killed a lot of people. He sent a lot of people to the Gulag in Siberia. Um, he starved his people to death. It was, I mean, literally people starving to death, literally. Yeah, go read a little bit up on Mr. Stalin. Yeah, go read up a little on Mr. Stalin. But again, all right, I'm gonna say this and then I'm getting off this line, y'all, because I gotta go. But Stalin, Stalin and Hitler actually had an agreement at the beginning. They had an agreement. If Hitler had never double crossed Stalin, Stalin would have never joined forces with the United States. Stalin and Roosevelt did not like each other. Okay? If it weren't for Winston Churchill saying, look, y'all ain't gotta like each other. Y'all can hate each other after we get rid of Hitler, which is exactly what happened. Y'all can hate each other after we get rid of Hitler, but we gotta get rid of Hitler. And Winston Churchill knew that Hitler had already taken over France. It was only a matter of time before Hitler was gonna get Great Britain. He damn near got Great Britain. And so that's what Winston Churchill was able to get Stalin and the United States on the same page, because Hitler had double crossed Stalin, because Hitler and Stalin had an agreement. Long as you don't come over here into Russia, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. As long as you don't come to Russia, you good. And Hitler was never supposed to invade Russia. When Hitler invaded Russia and double crossed Stalin, that's when Stalin joined forces with the United States. Up until that point, Stalin wasn't fucking with us. He wasn't concerned about nothing that was going on with Hitler until Hitler double crossed him. And once Hitler double crossed him, that's when the whole war flipped. And then Hitler was so arrogant, he didn't listen to his generals. His generals told him, you don't want to go into Russia in winter. We can't fight that Russian winter. That's what got Napoleon. That's what got Hitler. Hitler went into Russia and that winter got him. That Russian winter ain't no joke. If you ain't from Russia, you can't handle that Russian winter. They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the uniforms. Their equipment didn't work in the snow and in the mud. And his people tried to tell Hitler, we might not want to go into Russia. This is the wrong time of year to go into Russia. And Hitler ain't listen. So Hitler's downfall, again, don't let history make y'all feel like Hitler was losing the war. Hitler was not losing the war. The Nazis was kicking ass. Let's be clear. It wasn't until Hitler started making some bad decisions because he wasn't listening anymore to his generals. He got so full up on himself. Became, and like I said, I could do this all night, y'all. I love history. Yeah. See, Jacqueline, that's why I don't know if I'm ready to go to the concentration camps. I don't know if I'm ready to see all that. Mimi, I ain't never taught Columbus that way. Mimi, let me tell you something. When I first started teaching a while back. I ain't gonna tell you the year. It was a while ago. And my first couple of years of teaching, I was an English teacher. I didn't teach history. I wanted to teach history, but I was hired as an English teacher because my minor was in English. So But then when I was going back to get my master's degree in education and history, I had to teach history because that's what I was getting my degree in. And that was part of the program I was in. So my principal had to switch me over to history. So I had US history. And I had the first half of US history, which of course starts with the Pilgrims. Honey, I ain't never teach that class the way the books wanted us to teach it. And that's why, again, I'm not saying this to be arrogant, but that's why the kids loved my class, because they were like, we ain't never get this before. Yeah, you ain't gonna get it. I told them that Columbus was a rapist, that Columbus went in and stole the property and raped the people, as his people spread venereal diseases throughout the Caribbean, and that Christopher Columbus never set foot on North America. Never set foot on North America. Never set foot on North America. You know what I'm saying? So they got that from me. We got the real story of Thanksgiving. We got the real story of Jamestown. I didn't sugarcoat that shit. I didn't sugarcoat it for them. And so they're like, well, Miss Proctor, why do we get the day off? I don't know. Just enjoy it. Shit. Just enjoy the day off. Hell. We get a lot of days off. I'm like, why we getting the day off? But hell. If you want to give me a day off commemorating the president's birthday, then damn it, give me the day off. I'll take it. All right, I'm gonna read these comments. I'm gonna respond, and then I gotta go because I gotta get to Oh yeah, you were late to the chat, but I really wish because I'm enjoying this, but I do have to get somewhere. I gotta I'm already gonna be late, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. I saw an astrologer's report, not trying to make no one believe in it, on Hitler, and he said that Hitler started a little early, maybe in April, he probably would have won. No, that's not unrealistic because again, it wasn't don't let people make y'all feel like Hitler was losing the war. He was not. Hitler was kicking butt. He rode into France, boom, like that. And he was killing Great Britain. Again, Winston Churchill, being the leader that he was able to get the United States and get Russia on his side to support him because he knew that Great Britain was only a couple of weeks away from falling to the Nazis. Let's not get it twisted. Hitler was winning the war. He was winning the war. It wasn't until he double-crossed Stalin and he went into Russia at the wrong time of year. That is absolutely, I mean, I didn't read an astrologer's report, but that is absolutely correct. Had he been a little more strategic about when he went into Russia, because again, it wasn't that Russia was ready to fight Hitler. It's that Russia was already used to those winters and they had the right equipment to fight Hitler. Had Hitler gone in the spring, be a whole nother conversation. Y'all ever The Man in High Castle? Yes, we here in America knew everything about what he was doing. America only wanted the oil and the land that Russia and Germany had. Well, I wanted to know about the Bay of Pigs and why those Cubans are Republic. Girl, that's a whole nother. That's why I love you really, bitch. I love you too, Mimi. I love you too. Yeah, I don't sugarcoat. And again, I'm not saying I give them like I don't give it. You still have to be sensitive in your language, but I don't sugarcoat and go with that whole Columbus discovered America and the Pilgrims and the Indians got along for Thanksgiving. Nah, hell no. Nah, hell no. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. Honey, the whole Bay of Pigs, Cuban. I ain't got time. That's a whole nother. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of it I still don't fully understand. Some of it I still don't fully understand. But the whole Bay of Pigs, well, I understand Bay of Pigs, but the whole why a lot of Cubans are Republican, it's that us versus them. It's it's like why were some rich black slave owners during slavery? Because they could. Because it was like why did the Creoles want to be why did the Creoles want to separate themselves from black Americans? Why did they want why did they want to feel like they were some elitist or something separate during that time period? They wanted to be identified as different. Like, yeah, I'm black, but I'm not that kind of black. So a lot of times with the Cubans and a lot of them being Republican, it's like, yeah, Donald Trump don't like immigrants, but he cool with us. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of that self-hate thing from where I stand. Let me say that. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, little baby. Yeah, that had a lot to do with. Okay, I'm gonna say this and I'm done. Baptista was in charge of Cuba before Fidel Castro. Baptista was a crook, but Baptista was the United States' crew. You understand what I'm saying? Baptista let the United States pretty much do whatever they wanted to do in Cuba. They had the oil and the sugar and all that other stuff going on in Cuba, and Baptista kind of played ball with the United States. Also, remember, the mafia was very much embedded in Cuba at the time. That's where they laundered a lot of their money. They had casinos and hotels and resorts in Cuba. And so there was very much a capitalist, the rich are getting rich, the poor are getting poorer mentality in Cuba at that time. Fidel Castro came along at a time where he was saying, look, he was preaching communism. And the idea of communism is that we're going to all be equal. So there's not going to be any more rich, 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 poor, poor, poor. We're all going to be on the same playing field. And when you're dealing, especially an island as small as Cuba, and you see these people that are rich, 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 and they're looking down on you, and you are the poor, 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 poor. And this man comes along and says, look, we're going to all be equal. It ain't going to be no more rich and poor. We're going to all be equal. And I'm going to kick all of them out of the country. And that's the first thing that Castro did. The first thing that Castro did was kick them all out of the country. He shut down them casinos. He shut down those hotels. He took over. He kicked the mafia out of fucking Cuba. Right? And they all came back here to the United States. That's actually one of the conspiracy theories as to why John F. Kennedy was killed. One of the conspiracy theories is that the mafia killed him because they lost so much with the whole Cuban deal and he wasn't able to get them back into Cuba. That's one of the theories. I'm not saying that's a true theory, but that's one of the theories I've read. But that has a lot to do with it. History, you can look back on stuff with a 2020 mindset and see things differently. But that is why Castro was welcomed. The Bay of Pigs was basically the United States trying to get control of Cuba again. And the Bay of Pigs was a planned invasion where a lot of the people who had been kicked out of Cuba basically convinced the United States that they could win, that they could get back into Cuba, that all they needed was a little bit of help, some supplies and some guns and some stuff like that. And because they said as soon as we get to Havana, we get to the capital city, the people will join us because the people hate Castro. The people hate Fidel Castro. So as soon as we're able to come in and we tell them we're here to liberate you, they're going to join in with us. And they didn't get to Havana. They never got there. And even if they had gotten to Havana, I don't think that's how it would have went down. I don't think that's what it would have happened. But yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right, y'all. This is a good. I saw somebody say we can keep talking about this on Sunday. I am planning on going live Sunday. So yeah, we can do that. We can definitely. I can talk history all day, and I don't claim to know everything because again, when it gets to the Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis and stuff, I have not done as much research. I know the basics, but I have not done deep dives and done a lot of deep research into the Bay of Pigs invasion and all of that. But I have a general overview of it. You know what I'm saying? But this has been a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. We never did get to the Chasing Atlanta reunion. All I know is that it was a bunch of fighting and it was a bunch of bullshit. But we'll get into that on Sunday, y'all. We can talk about it on Sunday because I don't think we're gonna be able to do a podcast. Mink has been really busy the last couple of weeks, and last weekend, Face wasn't able to make it, so we haven't been able to get together to do a podcast in a while, but we're going to try to get it together for y'all. We're going to try to get it together for y'all real soon. I'm not understanding. Okay. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. I'm supposed to be watching the game. The game's starting in 10 minutes. I'm not going to be there I ain't going to be there by tip off. Matter of fact, I need to text and make sure we still good before I drive over there. But if I end up not going out, hold on. That was a text basically saying one of the people saying I'm on my way. So I guess we still on. I was just getting ready to say if I end up not going out, I'll get back on live, but I'm going out. So I'm about to walk out the door, y'all. Y'all have a great and safe weekend. I'm gonna try to get back on Sunday. My plan right now is to get back on Sunday. So I'm not sure what time yet. What I'll do is put a post up and let y'all know what time that I plan to get back online. But if I get back on, I want to get back online Sunday, and it'll be like early afternoon, like maybe 3, 4-ish. Yep. So y'all have a great weekend. Be safe. Everybody have a great time. It was so great talking to you guys. I think we got up to like 24, 25 people. You know, I have small lives, but I'm cool with my lives because we have good conversations. So it was good to see you guys. And thanks again for the super chat. And y'all have a great evening. I'm out.